One Zambia, one nation. Hello and welcome to the news to present. My name is Henry Himonde. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Hichilema speaks against cattle rustlers. Kalabo district in shortage of desks. And Zambia agriculture and commercial show preparations advance. And now the news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema says government is considering reviewing the law on cattle to stiffen punishment against cattle theft. President Hichilema says livestock theft deters development, hence the need to stiffen punishment to about 15 years imprisonment. The president was speaking last night when over 200 community members visited him at Naminwe Ranch in Namwala district. Mike Mutomboko gives us details in the following report.
Despite being on holiday at his Naminwe farm, President Hakainde Hichilema was last night visited by Namwala community members that included UPND party officials on a mission to greet him. However, the head of state used the opportunity to talk about various issues that include CDF matters.
Wino mwaga bwene badera bwega moto yagono ulino mwabwene mabo utulwa moto tulono ono tuyanda uganko ata munabona amulingire kajemwe oyo mwaga uza kumbere CDF tuitola mwiseu ila kwera ya mwiseu tupenyi ntomu wetetwa uti CDF tiyendi gabotu tulatukirula.
The president also revealed intentions by government to review the law to stiffen punishment on cattle rustlers and other livestock thieves.
Na butema muga intulanga bana nangu muga muko wogeza lo niga CDF wagula tupongola tungombe kagwala lawola watupera watutola to ndawugwata kagwala lolongwa munganda tatu mwandi tematera olomwiwa tatu mwandi olomwana amuji tatu mwandi olomwana amugwesa tatu mwandi usinye into yabantu mula otugala uchincha mutaka tongoge baba into yabantu mula otula uchincha kwa kubo pagale 15 years to imugati.
For Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mwetwa, a holiday at the farm for the head of state is worth emulating.
Twaruma sebo tuitidwe huma ikuba president unga ayanda kulyogeha wabola kumplazi ikuhobereka ikutekwa jisijiye kubereka kuleka kukedebyo uyanda kulya malingo otaberekera.
On CDF matters, Namwala district is doing fine.
President Namwala hatu ya wajini hini mumalondi vyo mungu saulavyo. Last year president wajibu ya kukupa 93 clubs and cooperatives.
Mike Mutomboko, Zanis at Naminwe farm, Namwala district, Southern Province.
Meanwhile, Chief Kasoma Lunga of Luapula Province has commended government for the distribution of farming inputs under the wetlands component of the food security pack. The traditional leader called on the inclusion of additional beneficiaries on the program to enable more people in his chiefdom engage in farming activities. Kennedy Chomba was in Lunga and brought us this report.
Government has commenced the distribution of farming inputs under the wetlands component of the food security pack in Lunga district of Luapula province. The exercise, which has been flagged off by the Lunga district administrative officer, Daniel Mpeta, will see 600 people benefit in the district.
And we are hoping that the farmers who use these inputs for the intended purposes, and we don't expect them to sell because government is spending a lot of money in procuring this so that they help the vulnerable farmers.
Chief Kasomalunga wants to see more people added to the program as one way of promoting farming on the island.
Bakonkanye pofie mumwaka wapita nalira ndati na fertilizer bale lunda pofie pakoyo bati na bale bambi bale irishanya kuma wadi ambi panali umfati bamota bapoke oko kulubale na kuisa na bena bale lima ninshi batu afwa so ekintu kimwe kikankala ekyo tufire twayishiba bulimi ekintu kyabapanta kimubwikashibwa muntu antu muntu kulya elo tete ali nga tali nini.
Meanwhile, the beneficiaries want this program to continue as it is enabling them to take care of their families.
Ngwaindi wansansa pakuleta ifya bulimi mfundo wapa nshino wapa mundu nembuto iyo batupeleko cabbage na onyonyelo na mataba ndi wansansa kanshi mwe buteko mwikale kapo apa bantu muletu twalira ko buyantanshi ubwine obuyantanshi kuti nasambirishamo nabana nabeshikuru bandi twayikalira mu bwino tatulekwa kwe bati mukaleke awo kwai kuleta shatule kunkula kaidi mwe buteko.
Kenechomba reporting for Zanis News in Lunga District.
The Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa Federation of Women in Business says it will ensure that its members improve their products to compete favorably in the region. Acting Chief Executive Officer Chikakulamiti says women participation, especially in agriculture, industry and trade, are contributing significantly to the country's gross domestic product. Sandebwalia reports that Mr. Miti was speaking during the Regional Enterprise Competitiveness and Access to Market Training Workshop in Lusaka.
Promoting the effective participation of women in trade and development activities is crucial for the country to realize the much-needed economic development. For this reason, COMESA Federation of Women in Business is resolved to ensure that women in the country are supported to trade effectively in the country.
Our organization is aimed at supporting the development of women entrepreneurs amongst women, focusing on all the important value chains of COMESA. We have been focusing a lot on creating an enabling environment so that the contribution of women can be enhanced in the COMESA region. Madam Facilitator, COMESA is a regional integration bloc of 21 member states, and we are aware that currently 70 to 80% of our regional cross-border trade is mainly composed of women doing it. And we know that most of our borders they lack the requisite infrastructure to support the participation of women, especially those who are working closely with the COMESA Secretariat to operationalize the 50 million digital platform, which is a platform that is supposed to help in facilitating linking of women in the COMESA region, and also provision of advisory as well as mentorship activities through the same platform.
COMESA Federation of Women in Business Board Chairperson, Zambia chapter, advised women in business to work together for them to compete.
Because our mandate really is to contribute to the COMESA objective of regional integration through trade. And we can only do that if we have got good products that can be traded across borders. We can only do that if we have the knowledge that is required to get through border crossings and export requirements for the different countries and so on. And so this is a really, really important program for us.
Workshop participants promised to improve on value addition to their products.
And my hope is that after attending this workshop, we are going to improve on a number of things like packaging, labeling, and that also it will enable us, after acquiring the required knowledge, that we may be lucky to penetrate the COMESA market.
My hopes are that by the time I'm done with this program, I would have gained enough knowledge to upskill my business.
This training will enhance the skills of women in the manufacturing of their products. For Zanis in Lusaka, I am Sandebwalia.
In the education sector, Okwimi Trade Institute in Petauke district has recorded an increase in student enrollment more than its holding capacity. Institute Principal Daniel Nyirenda has attributed the high enrollment levels to the number of students being supported through the Constituency Development Fund CDF. Lubasi Mutafela now gives us details in the following report.
Skills development is now seen as a game changer in fighting high unemployment level in the country. In Petauke district of Eastern Province, Okwimi Trade Training Institute stands out as a shining example that is managing to empower youth with new skills for economic survival. This is with support from the Constituency Development Fund CDF.
CDF has helped us to indeed solve a long age problem of low enrollments in these colleges. Right now, the problem is no longer raw enrollments, but over enrollments. So in the past, before CDF came, we had huge challenges. Others would come, start the course, and drop off along the way. This program continues for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We're looking into a country that will move economically to not just middle income, but much higher thresholds in terms of ratings. Why? Because youths will have been empowered with skills that will make them be able to get into either gainful employment or establish their own enterprises.
Here, the CDF supported students are bubbling with confidence about a better future.
Anyway, for this opportunity, and always be grateful to the government for bringing up this idea of bringing up the CDF as a sponsorship for skill training, because this is quite one of the best things that we have seen that's going to bring a lot of development in our country and in many.
For the tutor, the increased CDF enrollment as a result of CDF skills bursary is motivating.
The CDF, it has impacted a lot, of course not only in the lives of our youths and others who come to do their training and skills development, but also to us as lecturers. You know, previously our enrollments have been low, and because of that, you will find that even the teaching morale sometimes is not up to that level where, you know, tutors are enjoying their lesson.
For Zanis, in Petauke district, I'm Lubasi Mutafela.
Still on education, the Department of Education in Northern Province says it is expected to produce over 51,000 desks before the end of this year using Constituency Development Fund CDF. Provincial Education Officer Mulambwanawa says the province has so far procured a total of 3,224 desks. Mr. Nawa disclosed that his office has also received funds amounting to 500,000 kwacha for desk rehabilitation. He says each district has been given a target to rehabilitate a number of desks, saying so far about 7,200 desk frames have been collected and rehabilitated. Mr. Nawa has also highlighted that a cumulative total of 22,900 learners have benefited from desks that have been procured and rehabilitated.
We have over 51,512 desks that are being done under CDF. And once the 51,000 desks, 512 are done, I'm very sure that the issues of children not having enough desks in this province, it will be a story of the past. This is a vision that the New Dawn administration, just within a space of 2 years, has brought and has put in place to ensure that all the challenges that we are facing, more especially when it comes to issues of desks, it is something that must be a story of the past. It is something that we should find answers to. And already, with what is happening, I want to tell you that by the end of maybe November, most of our schools, or all our schools, all our children who have desks in this region.
We now take a break and still ahead in the news. Kalabo district experiencing desk shortage.
Hello, it's time for you to know your rights. For ignorance of the law is no defense.
People should report any case of gender-based violence to the police. They should not be tempted to compromise the cases, because compromising a case of gender-based violence is actually an offense.
Zambia, like any other country, has got laws that govern the welfare of its citizens.
We provide some check, some oversight on the police service.
When an officer misconducts himself, he's alone. One person being beaten is enough for the commission to move. The Constitution tells us that the people of Zambia must enjoy their liberties.
Every week on Thursday at 19:30 hours, the Zambia News and Information Services, Zanis, brings to your screens a program dubbed Police and the Community.
If we, the police, and you, member of the public, we work together, because the common enemy we have before us is the criminal.
Catch Zanis TV on Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH. Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. And now to Western Province. Schools in Kalabo district are experiencing a shortage of over 11,000 desks. This was revealed during the continued monitoring of Constituency Development Fund projects in Liua constituencies by officials from the local authority in the district. Darrington Kabambe has more in the following report.
With the increase of learners who are getting back to various schools because of free education in Western Province, Kalabo district has been hit by the shortages of school desks. Kalabo District Education Standards Officer Bruno Liamba said the education sector is in dire need of over 11,000 school desks.
Currently we have 7,500 furniture, that is desks and tables. Meaning we have a shortfall of 11,048, which is supposed to be worked on from this time around up maybe to December, so that as you know that the new Don government has given us an assignment whereby come December there is nobody who is supposed to sit on the ground. Now how are we going to cushion that? One, the local authority, we will try to work on that and see how best we are able to link up with the school also, as they are receiving a small amount which the school grant. And in the same way, we have about 996 desks which are being rehabilitated at the Kalabo Trades.
And Pongo Kamwata is Kalabo Town Council Secretary.
Under the 2022 CDF funding, we have created 33 classroom spaces under your constituency. That has actually increased the demand for desks. And this year, we are procuring 720 desks. I'm aware that the deficit is quite huge, but we also have another challenge. And that challenge is because most of our school classrooms are temporary structures. And it's not prudent for us to procure desks and then put them into thatched structures that will end up getting damaged. But we, as a district and a constituency, we are equal to the task. We are mindful of the directive from government that no child should sit on the floor. But because of this peculiar situation we have found ourselves, so we have deliberately decided to increase the number of permanent structures. And the next year, we'll increase the number of desks that we are going to procure.
Meanwhile, Mishulundu Primary School head teacher has appreciated the 2022 Constituency Development Fund staff house donated to the school.
We are very much thankful to the new Don government, led by His Excellency the President, for bringing development closer to the communities, as it has been enhanced in the decentralization and devolution policies of the new Don government. So we are most thankful And we are also thankful for the school grants, which are always timely disbursed to the schools. As you can see that we have used the CDF to facelift our school. We have done some renovations and refurbishment of our structures, the classrooms and the staff houses.
Darlington Kawambe reporting for Zanis News in Kalabo District, Western Province.
China State Construction Company working on the Chinsali-Isoka Road project has embarked on a safety drill exercise for its workers operating on the project. Acting site construction manager says the safety emergency drills are meant to create awareness in workers towards responding quickly to accidents on the site. Here now is a report.
These are workers operating under Lot 1 of the Chinsali-Isoka Road project under construction, undertaking a safety drill exercise at the China State Construction Company plant in Chinsali district. China State Engineering Corporation, in collaboration with the Civil Planning Group, a consulting firm on the project, have embarked on this safety exercise to ensure workers are alert towards responding to accidents on site.
It is a very good thing, a very good exercise. It is not only puzzle, but it is a very good training actually. So this training must be done repetitively until we have completed the project. Accidents can occur actually anywhere. They can occur in the laboratory, they can occur in the workshop.
So this is very important. I hope the government and the community may protect the new road properly.
The Road Development Agency, RDA in Mchinga Province, is impressed with this initiative.
When we see initiatives like this one, competitions like this one, it is something that is encouraged, and it's something which gives us great joy as RDA. Government has shown its commitment to safety awareness, even with the training of first responders from the public institutions.
The Chinsali-Isoka Road project under Lot 1 has about 95 kilometers of works completed so far. Henry Lumpa Jr., Zanis in Chinsali, Mchinga Province.
Agriculture and Commercial Show Society of Zambia President Duncan Fuller says this year's show will take place from 2nd to 7th August 2023 and is expected to attract close to 1,500 exhibitors for both indoor and outdoor stands. Speaking at a press briefing in Lusaka, Mr. Mfula said this year's figure shows a steady growth of 11% compared to the last show. Mr. Mfula said his society has expanded the exhibition space to accommodate small and medium entrepreneurs who account for about 50% of participation at the premier business show. He said the show, which will be held under the theme Inclusive Economic Transformation, is expected to attract about 20 foreign countries from Africa, Asia and Europe, with more expected to come on board. Mr. Mfula said preparations have reached an advanced stage and the society is confident of giving Zambians a highly successful show.
On behalf of the board of directors of the Show Society, it gives me great pleasure to inform you that the 95th edition of the Zambia Agriculture and Commercial Show will run from 2nd to 7th of August 2023. This year's show is being hosted under the theme Inclusive Economic Transformation, which literally means an economic transformation that is distributed fairly across society and creates opportunities for all. This theme resonates well with a number of government policies and strategies aimed at promoting economic transformation. It is also coming at a time when the nation has successfully clinched a $6.3 billion debt restructuring deal with bilateral debtors under the G20 Common Framework on Debt Treatment, obviously through the leadership of our patron, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Our exhibition area is expected to attract up to over 1,300 exhibitors, both indoors and outdoors. These are a combination of direct and indirect exhibitors. I must say here that this figure shows a steady growth, which is an increase of about 11% pre-pandemic participation of exhibitors at the show.
To Central Province, where the Stanley Kakubo Foundation has donated 600 packs of sanitary towels to girls from 5 schools in Kapirimposhi district. The foundation, established by Kapirimposhi Member of Parliament Stanley Kakubo, made the donation to improve school attendance among girls who cannot afford sanitary towels. Details in the following report by Carlos Wunda.
Lack of access to menstrual hygiene facilities and sanitary towels is a common hindrance to full class attendance among many schoolgirls in the rural areas. But for these girls from 5 rural schools in Kapirimposhi district, school attendance is secured for now, as they have received free sanitary towels, courtesy of Area Member of Parliament Stanica Kakubo's foundation.
Young girls, especially in rural areas, struggle to get a sanitary towel or clean piece of cloth to manage their period every month. There is lack of awareness because menstrual health and hygiene have lately not been spoken about as much. Living in a culture of shame and silence, they end up using poor substitutes like dirty pieces of cloth, or worse, they use nothing.
Handing over the donation on behalf of Mr. Kakubo, community leader Dorothy Mambwe called on the removal of barriers hampering girls' education.
Right now, we are fighting for 50% in parliament.
Education authorities and beneficiary pupils are delighted by the gesture.
Our learners who have been absent from school will be able to be coming to school even when they are in that period. There have been a lot of absenteeism because the girl will say, no, I can't go to school because I'm doing this thing.
Honorable MP, it is our sincere desire that you continue with this gesture, as it is the wish of our beloved President, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, to see to it that there is universal coverage of education. This has been demonstrated through various education support programs.
Carlos Wunda, Zanis, Kapirimposhi.
And finally, in the news, acting Mwansawombwe Town Council Secretary Matthews Mlenga says the local authority has intensified its preparations for the forthcoming Mutomboko traditional ceremony. Mr. Mlenga says so far a number of roads leading to the arena where the Mwata performs his traditional dance have been graded, while the parking area has also been cleared. Lewis Changwe gives us more in the following report.
On July 29, 2023, Mwata Kazembe is expected to perform his traditional dance during the Mutomboko ceremony. This year's ceremony is a special one because it is a silver jubilee for the Mwata, marking 25 years from the time we ascended to the throne. To ensure successful hosting of the ceremony, the local authority has started working on the roads leading to the arena and clearing of the parking area, among other activities.
Yeah, so far preparation for Mutomboko ceremony are underway. As a local authority, we've managed to open up the place for the car park, and we are working on roads to ensure the safety of the motorists. And in preparation for the same, we'll ensure that before the due dates, all the things that we're supposed to do as a local authority are put in place.
Meanwhile, Council Chairperson Tirio Chungu used the full council meeting to appeal to the health office to put in place safety measures ahead of the ceremony.
The Mutomboko ceremony is upon us. Let us continue supporting the Lunda Loyal establishment in whichever way we can, in the spirit of ensuring that we preserve the culture of the land in which we operate from. I would like to call upon the Ministry of Health and the Public Health Department to be on top of things and ensure that the foodstuffs being sold, especially on the streets, they are fit for human consumption.
Lewis Changwe, Zanis, Mwansabombwe, Luapra Province.
Lewis Changwe's report brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a reminder of the top stories. President Hichilema speaks against cattle rustlers. Kalabo district in shortage of desks. And Zambia agriculture and commercial show preparations advance. Thank you so much for watching. That is all we had prepared for you on Zanis News. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Until next time, it's goodbye.